Hello everyone, this is Chris, and welcome back to another video. Now, usually, about once a week, you would expect a rendition of a popular song or something of that nature remade in note blocks and me posting it to the channel. However, because I posted 2 last week, and because these take a long time to make, it really burnt me out from doing it. That, and also the one I'm working on now is a 4.5 minute song, and because a 3.5 minute song takes about 10 hours to make, yeah, I really don't have enough time. I started way too late on that, and yeah, there's no way I could get this done right now. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna have a note block edition this week. However, just because I can't do that, I figured I'd have something note block related, and I figured that be in the form of giving you just a few tips and tricks on how to create note block songs. Now, quick little disclaimer: I have never played an instrument before, so if you play an instrument, you might already know some of these little things, but hopefully one or two of these little things will help you to at least sort of understand how to create note block songs a little bit. So yeah, let's get started, I guess. One little thing which will help out is actually this little key card, or not key card, just an easier way to follow through this. Just so a few more things will make sense as I explain things. So screenshot that, write it down, do whatever you want. But yeah, this will be sort of the base as to what I'm talking about, and hopefully it'll make things a little more clear when I say certain things. I don't know the names of these keys or anything like that, but yeah. Okay, so tip number 1. If you are doing a note block song, you'd most likely be using a button. Now, what people might normally do is they might just have a button next to a repeater next to your notes. Now, the big problem with that is that you would actually get the button sound in it. So if we push this, then you can just hear the button go off with it, which will sort of distract it, sort of block the noise of the note blocks. So what I would recommend doing is having some delay in between pushing the button and the notes activating. The limit, or as far as you could stretch the repeaters, is 3 repeaters set to 4 ticks. I personally like going just a little bit further, just so there's that big gap, but yeah, then you can hear your notes perfectly well without having any distractions like that. So yeah, in case you're wondering, this one's set to 3 and the other one is set to 15 on both of them. Just because, yeah. So let's move on to another thing about the repeaters. So if you don't know already, note blocks don't have long notes or short notes. You only have one note, sort of like that. So you can't really have one note stretch on for a long time, so you have to sort of work around it. So what I would recommend is having a little bit of delay in between notes. For example, this is the a little bit of Carol of the Bells bit, but you don't want to just have the same amount of delay for every single note, because if you do that, then you get a whole different type of song, which would work with some things, but not every song would work with it. So if you're trying to get a specific type of song with longer notes and shorter notes, then have different delays. And then you'd get the right type of note. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, this is the amount of times you have to tune the note blocks to get that little bit of Carol of the Bells. And if I can get over here, And this is the repeater the repeater ticks you have to have for that little bit. Notes on note blocks only can be tuned up to 24 times. And if you're on, I believe it's any instrument, but I know on a piano you have about 84 different types of notes. So the way to work around this is actually using different sounds. So say you have the bass as the piano, or the middle sound as the piano, say on the piano keyboard, I think, yeah. And if you want to have a lower piano sound, which would actually work well with it, then you have to then get another type of sound which you think would work well with it. So, for example, I think this is the bass, whatever that sound is. I'm not good with music name stuff. And if you want maybe a higher sounding thing, which will work well with it, then maybe use the guitar and put them all together, and you get sounds which would actually work well together. You can see, like in the Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger song, or the Rise of Skywalker song. I think I use the wood and the grass sounds for it. And along with that, like, another type you could use is actually the bit and the electric bit, whatever that one is. But yeah, if you want to have more notes, then just use different types of sounds and it will work just as well. The thing I would totally not recommend doing is taking on a really hard song. If you're just starting off making note block songs, I highly recommend avoiding doing really complicated songs, what am I doing? Which is what I had with my big problem. Like, my first song I was trying to make was the Independent Together song from the Steven Universe movie. And why am I freaking out like this? And it works. Like, if you listen to a little bit of it, if you listen to it, like, it works. It sounds nice. But, like, the way it's laid out and everything like that, it's a bit of a mess. If you, I don't know, like, it's really hard doing note block songs with this many notes, especially if you're just starting out. If you listen here, like, it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't sound as well as it probably should have. So if you're starting out, I'd recommend using a lot less notes and just trying to do the basics. Try to figure things out and then work your way up to more complicated songs. Take this one, for example, where I made this little bit. Yeah, I figured out how to do this because I did the very basics as to the song, just the first little bit, the first 10 seconds or so, which, it helped me start. And even though it wasn't the first one I made, it was a little slower. Another little slower one, or another way you could do slower songs, is actually in a way like this. You see, most of these are kind of going way off into the distance, and that's only because I can't figure out how to do bigger sets of notes together. But if you're doing just smaller songs like this, then I'd recommend having it weave back and forth a little bit. That way it takes half the space, and yeah, it saves you the trouble of trying to keep up with your song, which sometimes I have a problem with. But yeah, little songs like this is a good place to start off with. Back onto that key sheet, one of the things that really works together is if you see those groups of three notes or those three black keys, if you use the same key on the same one, that's not making much sense. Okay. Say you look at note 0, which is what this one is, and then you look at note 12. They're both the first black key in those groups of three black keys. What that does is it actually makes a pretty good tune, actually. It works well together. Same with this one. This is a 2 note 14 note. If I keep spinning, I guess. Again. Yeah, this is a 2 note 14 note and works well. And then this one, I believe, is a 9 note 21 notes. Yeah. Not every single part of a song would work well like this. But if you do the right thing like this, and in a way it will work out. It'll be kind of impressive for what you do. Another great thing to do is to actually go onto YouTube and to find some piano tutorials. Actually, like these are the things that's really helping me learn what notes work with what places to put each note and things like that. It really helps out a lot. So if you're looking for someone, I'd recommend John Pumper, or another one is Sheet Music Boss, I believe, on YouTube. But like in anyone who does piano tutorials, it'll help out for basically any song, really. Like in some way or another, it'll show you how to put specific notes with other types of notes. Keep in mind that not every song has a piano version of it, so you can't copy basically every single song out there. But for what's out there, you'll learn, you'll pick up some things, some notes will work, you'll see which will work together more, and yeah, things like that. Chair, and chair. And there we go. Okay. Unbelievable that they flat packed in my chair and I had to rebuild it from scratch. Anywho, hopefully these were some helpful little tips. Hopefully I'll see, like, hopefully more people will understand a little bit more as to how note block songs are made, how they're created, and things of that nature. Now, whatever you do, keep in mind, they take a long time to make. Like, I emphasized this at the beginning, but again, they take so long to make. So, if you're going to make anything out of note blocks, I'd recommend, again, starting small and working your way up. Maybe not making an entire song, but maybe making bits and pieces of a song until you build up to one large stream of music, I guess. Sure. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you now. Hopefully this was useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.